Hello and welcome everybody to another review brought to you by your host Tabletop Junkie, and hello to anyone who is in the chat. Sparta Chris is in the chat, so I'm going to say hello to him. All right, everybody. So we're going to talk about. So we're here at Tabletop Review number 98, Atlas of the Walking Dead. Now, this book was actually not my most favorite. Unfortunately, this book was kind of a disappointment to me. It's not what I kind of thought it was. So this book actually takes certain parts, takes parts around the world, and basically puts in its own flavor of of what they consider the Walking Dead by folklore and legend. We're going to start off with an example, okay? And I'm going to show off some artwork later. I have to be very careful because these things do have watermarks of my real name in it. And I don't want everyone to know that. So let's talk about one of the first entries that they did have. All right, so in here, they do present an introduction to using these creatures in each category, character sheet write-up for them. And then it actually does have some story ideas, as well as trying to think what else they have. I think that's about it. They actually have story ideas that you can use, and they have at least a list of 2 to 3 examples of stories of how to introduce these types of creatures in there. One of the first creatures in the book that I actually particularly like. When did the Titan Atlas become a zombie? Okay, this Atlas as in the whole world, whatever. All right, so let's talk about the Aztec mummy. Aztec mummy, which comes from, according to this, the Central America portion. It has a full write-up, introduction, and it even has all the capability, like what is there. Now, they do mention somewhere in this book, I did read it, I think it is in the introduction phase, because there is an introduction on top of the list of creatures that are here, that you can use these creatures in their raw form, or you can also alter it to fit your story, to fit your world a bit better as well. That this is just the content to be used, for examples, and it is made to be changed for you to flesh out for yourself. So each one is actually set up like that. We're not even going to go through with each one, but let me go through a list of what we can see here. Aztec mummy, Central America. Let's see what we have here. We also have the Civitatio, the Dragar, the Femis Fatalis, the Geki, the Ghouls, the Gothic Vampire, the Genoshi, or the Gyanshi, I don't know how to say that, mummies, vampires, many different forms of, basically, The Walking Dead. And then, so that stems from, basically, page 6, hey, people, Witch King here, hey, Witch King. Mrs. Tabletop's also there, as well as Sparta Chris, so I do got a good turnout tonight. They even have voodoo zombies in here, which I think is actually interesting. Because, for those who don't like the viral outbreak zombies, they do have stuff in here for voodoo zombies as well. Let's see here. Let's take a look at that and some of the ideas. Voodoo zombies, which is, they have it listed in parentheses as the Caribbean. That's where the voodoo zombies come from. So, yep, they show an introduction. Once again, introduction, full description of that, and then they go into some of the special aspects of the voodoo zombies, as well as a full character page write-up. I'm actually going to share a little bit of that real quick. I do love the fact that this book also sticks with the theme, which is usually black and white, because that's how the whole zombie stuff. Jiangshi is how you pronounce the Jiangshi. Oh, okay. Let me put it in here about how it's spelled. Maybe the authors made a mistake. I don't know. All right, so let's do a screen share. So this is like the voodoo zombies. Like they give you everything that you need, and you can actually make the changes to how you see fit as well. And as you can see, they actually keep to the scheme of things. I know some people probably like the voodoo zombies a little bit because zombies, could be a part form of a mysticism or ritual. I personally like the viral outbreak zombie type, like Dawn of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead. Kind of like had like a virus thing to it, but it was kind of like mystical because you never really did figure that out. No. Well, let's look that one up. Let's look that one up. Let's see what the part of that world is. Maybe there's a pronunciation on that page too. At this point, we just kind of deviated a little bit, everyone, to kind of make the stream a little bit longer, because if not, this was actually going to end, because the next part we were going to talk about, because we weren't going to cover all the lists. Here, let me show you guys the list here. Here's the list of stuff of many different types of, we talked about the Aztec mummy a little bit. This was the one that I was talking about on page 41, just underneath Gothic Vampire, which is pretty much like a vampire because they do give you aspects that certain undead can only be hurt certain ways. And that's the thing that I do love about All Flesh Must Be Eaten. You could play this as like supernatural horror or post-apocalyptic horror, modern kind of. It is, pretty much kind of like anything you want to do, just as long as as long as it uses The Walking Dead in it. So, I do like that. Let's move over to page 41 real quick. And yes, this is a PDF which you can get on drive-thru. I did check it last night. I did buy this for $11. So, yeah. For kind of what it is, I think $11 is kind of steep. The Jianxi, which is also China, so this is Chinese. Jianxi translates literally as stiff corpse, but they are often called the Chinese hopping vampires. Yeah, you're right. Okay, same monster. Just probably spelled a little bit differently for purposes. So these are kind of like, so they do have like, they're built a little bit differently than normal undead and normal vampires, but just a lot of things to actually put flavor into your worlds. But let's talk about my favorite part of this book. I do love seeing all the different types that you guys can look at. You guys can actually get the book yourself and check it out for yourself if you so want to. Like I said, it's $11. It is not my most favorite book. So as far as consistency, information, and artwork, thumbs up across the board. The price, for what it was, I didn't get the return I wanted out of that, so I'm going to kind of give... the price is actually more than fair for the PDF. It's just, it didn't really hit me a certain way, so I'm kind of going to give it a thumbs down as far as eye-popping. Although it does got a good cover. And yeah, maybe I don't know. I think maybe $10 or less should have been a little bit better. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, though. So, all right. So moving to the appendix. The appendix starting on 91. Okay, so when you get to page 91 in the appendix, they actually start coming up with like other ideas for you to go to, such as undead animals, the Baital, which is a bat-like creature, the Ball, which is a creature that cannot fly but is able to glide like a flying squirrel and apparently drinks your blood or eats your face off. There's also a vampiric hound in here. So this actually kind of covers like undead animals. And that is a snake nursing off of a woman. Or at least we think it's nursing off of a woman. It could be worse. They're called the Jararaca, which is a Brazil. The Harakaka. Harakaka. It is a venomous snake native to Brazil. According to folklore, exhibits vampire-like tendencies. I guess I kind of didn't really catch that one. Kind of new. Alright, but point is, we're here to, that's the appendix. So it does give you some new ideas and stuff like that. Not my most favorite part. I lied. My most favorite part starts on page 97, where you get some new rules, such as holding your breath and how that kind of works with the Unisystem. Also adds in another aspect of weight, if you want to use that. You don't have to, but you can. Like, some Walking Dead are considered dead weight, which actually means that they weigh 1.5 times more than what they normally would if they were alive. Most of my zombies, I think, would carry, like, lifelike. Pics on the snake or it did not happen. There is pictures on the snake, that's why I didn't show it. I didn't pull it up. I just didn't show it because it literally was kind of graphical. So, like, lifelike, like, there's no weight change or attributes. So, and then you get stuff like withered corpse, which they only weigh half as much more. And then they got new stuff for spreading love, such as circumstance, and each one of these are aspects that you can add to your undead creature as well. And different types of aspects and stuff. I probably am going to look at this a little bit. It's probably nothing I'm going to use, because this is something I would use in a more mystical type, undead type thing. Like if the undead was, if magic was that sort of thing. So to give everyone a little bit of insight, Age of the Dead is going to be more realistically modern. Magic is not sort of a thing. And then I'm going to actually create another story line with horror, the zombie apocalypse show, where there's going to be another story. Kind of like if you ever seen short zombie short stories by Max Brooks. I think Max Brooks did a few short stories. Where he did different types of realities with zombies and stuff like that. I believe there was other authors that was in that. I don't know all of them. No zombie animals in Age of the Dead? No, we're probably going to do zombie animals. We're just not going to do, like vampires or stuff like that. Or things that can take shape, or, basically you call down the right hand of God. It's going to be kind of like more like Dawn of the Dead-ish or The Walking Dead. Only with the aspect that there will be zombie variants, because I'm sorry, I like different types of zombies. And I've been working on a whole codex for that on my own using this rule set. Very easily adaptable too. And that's what I do like. So, once again, this book is probably worth good checking out. They even actually noted some good movies in here. The Awakening, The Aztec Mummy, Blade, Blade 2, Blade Runner, The Bride of Dracula. I did like some of these, like Frankenstein, Universal 1931, The Evil of Frankenstein by Hammer in 1964, Dracula's Dog, Dracula's Daughter. I did see some of these. Mary Shelley's Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft, Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, Every Man in 1992. They do it. From what I've played, the Miracles and Magics are pretty OP. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought in some cases. So I'm gonna test out the system for that eventually, just not in Age of the Dead. Age of the Dead is gonna be just more down to earth, more relatable, because that's what I kind of want it to be. You also do get new qualities and drawbacks in here, such as Second Sight, which for those who do like that kind of supernatural capabilities, we do actually have new qualities and drawbacks. And they do offer a new supernatural quality for your players, not just stuff for zombies. So this would be pretty good to actually check out. I do recommend it. Okay, so on top of that, I've pretty much given you a pretty good review. Let me show you guys off a few things real quick that I know I can show you. So this is the actual title page, Atlas of the Walking Dead. It is kind of fun to read. It's basically exactly what it says, a global gathering of undead, for all flesh must be eaten. Nice description here. Basically, it talks about, they do touch base with all corners of the world, including animals, and they do offer exactly what they say here. So, and then nearly 50 new zombie aspects. Yes, I like that. And then more than 60 story-wide tied to these creatures. I do agree with that, because they do offer, like, I think 10 or 20 creatures, and they do offer 3 stories apiece. So yeah, I can actually vouch for that, as well as an appendix covering undead animals, which we may have. I do like that, because I do like the idea of animals are not immune to things. So yeah, especially, you know, a lot of the diseases rats carried for a long time. So I wouldn't doubt that they would be immune to all that. So I am going to be incorporating quite a bit into the Age of the Dead. So so you can go to drivethrurpg.com, go to Eden Studios, Atlas of the Walking Dead. It is a small supplement. It is currently about 115 pages, 120 pages. That is including the title page and whatnot, or without including it. So it would be pretty good to check out. Price, like I said, I think it could be a little bit less. I didn't like what I got in that book, but I did like some of the nice things. Now, is the book going to be useful for me and my coming zombie campaign? Not really. Not unless I want to use all the rule sets for All Flesh Must Be Eaten. So what I'm going to say here today for you guys, many diseases we suffer from jumped to us from animals. Yes, I do agree with that, Sparta Chris. All right. To really not take up much more time, we did get to 20 minutes. There wasn't really much here, but it did offer, for what it did offer, did have information, did have consistency, and a good art style. And the consistency is the black and white style that I actually did fall in love with, that really steals my imagination for All Flesh Must Be Eaten. So, all thumbs up there. It just didn't shake me down like the rest of the books did. So, unfortunately, it does get a strike for that. And I think a list, but I kind of would like, maybe if it was a little bit bigger, it could have improved. It definitely would have gotten a pretty good score out of me if we had just a couple more qualities and drawbacks, and maybe some different things added into the book. But, I mean, the core book does cover quite a bit of stuff too. So, I don't know. Maybe there is a couple things that it could add. I did like the fact that they added weight to the dead, but I mean, it didn't really, like I said, didn't really shake me down. So, a thumbs down for that. And actually, I'm giving it 2 thumbs down. All right. So, with what I've given it today, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. About an average score, which is actually more than fair, because most other reviewers have given this, if it was rated, it was rated 8 out of 10 or 4.2 out of 5 stars, which is actually equivalent to a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give this a 7, because like I said, it did not shake me down like the other ones did. I was kind of disappointed in this book a little bit. I thought there would have been more to it. I figured what it could have had in it was, okay, here's Central America. I don't know, maybe like something about maps, some areas, how likely, like here's how many people live here. I don't know, maybe some geological stuff. Pretty much all we did get was folklore and legends. And then just a few creature write-ups for that. So, like I said, if they would have added like some geology, like some geography to it a little bit more, I definitely would have given this an 8 or a 9 easily, but because I just felt like it was kind of missing, you know, when they say Atlas of the Walking Dead, maybe showing parts of the regions of the world, adding a few maps. I think that would have been better. They say, hey, here's an Aztec mummy normally found in this location. Here's the location of this on the map. But if you don't want to go that route, you can go this route. If you don't want to go that route, you can go this route. That would have been a little bit better. They did give you story ideas about how to use each and every creature of the undead anyway. So I just figured, I don't know, why not add a map or two? I like maps. And I definitely like world maps. So because of that, yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, people. That is my final one. I do recommend it if you do want to get it. If you think it may pertain to your campaigns, definitely. It does seem to be strictly for mostly GMs though. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. Well, that's everything I have at the time. Seems like it was describing the zombies or undead from the world. Hint, the Atlas. Yeah, it kind of was. That's why it says Atlas of the Walking Dead. But I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe if they're gonna touch me, I don't know. I just felt like there could have been more to it. I'm sorry. 7 out of 10 is it. It's not going to get any more. It may get less, depending on how that goes. But yeah, 7 out of 10. It felt like they could have added just a bit more something to it. I don't know what it is. Like I said, some maps, a little bit of geography. I mean, you're going to talk about other parts of the world. You might as well just say, hey, here's Central America. But that's just me. By the way, Eden Studios is not dead. They're still around, just not making product. Oh, I knew that. I knew that. I never thought Eden Studios was dead. I'm still buying their stuff because I do like their stuff. I actually like their system. It's funny because little side story here. Witch King tried to get me into this years ago. I just wasn't having it. Now I'm kind of enjoying the fact of new ideas. So I guess maybe because I just wanted to play other things, and I played other things, had my fun. So, well, that's everything I have at this time. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Witch King, Mrs. Tabletop, Sparta Chris, you guys have a great and wonderful night. And for those who did tune in and who will see this in the future, thank you for watching. And remember to work hard, play hard, game on, everybody. The description, and my description, is a link to this book. Go check it out for yourself and see if you want it. Worst case scenario, if you do, go ahead and get it. If you don't, well, there are other books. Have a great night.